Welcome to the deep dive. So today we're doing something a bit different with Mozart. Forget the symphonies for a minute. We're going straight for the drama, the family he married into the Webers.
That's right. It's kind of a shortcut. Our sources suggest if you really want to get inside his head, you need to understand this incredibly chaotic boarding house situation he landed in. We've got material submitted by a listener that really paint a picture of these four Weber sisters, Aloysia, Josefa, Constanze, and Sophie. They were locked in this constant battle for survival, for status. It's pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, and our mission here is to unpack all that. Because Mozart didn't just date one sister and that was it. He got tangled up in this whole messy web of their ambition, their poverty, and apparently it really shaped his early career, maybe even the women in his operas.
Exactly. We need to set the scene properly, though, because it is so far from glamorous. We're talking serious, grinding poverty here. Our sources take us right back to Mannheim, 1777. Imagine this tiny, cramped apartment, 5 floors up.
Right, and the details about their money struggles are just, wow. They apparently saved the good candles only for the parlor and only for these musical Thursdays they held. That was their claim to fame, sort of.
But that status, it cost them. Literally. For days after one of these Thursday nights, the whole family would be eating just thick, lumpy porridge. Sometimes no sugar, bad milk. Because the father, Friedlin, he just wouldn't skimp on the music nights, even if it meant that.
That's dedication, I guess. But it puts you right there. And the mother, Maria Cecilia Weber, she's kind of overseeing all this.
Oh, she's central. Picture her, coming out of the kitchen late, putting on her wool nightgown, probably muttering about the girls. Because they had no dowries. That was the huge thing. No dowries meant hardly any marriage prospects. She was worried sick.
Okay, but hang on. If she's so focused on marrying them off well, why on earth would she tolerate someone like Mozart hanging around? He was brilliant, sure, but famously broke.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? Her ambition wasn't just about immediate comfort. She was playing the long game. She saw music and her daughter's talent as their only real investment for a comfortable old age, as one source puts it. She even apparently kept this secret little book, flower-tooled, hidden behind the flower canister or something.
No way, what was in it?
Potential suitors. She was listing possibilities, basically running a sort of market analysis on who might marry her daughters. It's incredible.
That really highlights the difference between the parents then. You've got Friedlin, the kind of warm, music-loving dad holding things together with friendship.
Yeah, the artistic soul.
And then Maria Cecilia, the relentless strategist, just trying to keep them all from ruin.
Absolutely. And the daughters are the pieces on her chessboard in a way. Each one's so different. We have to start with Aloysia, the star.
Right, Aloysia, the diva. Mozart was completely smitten with her first, wasn't he?
Totally smitten. She had this amazing voice, apparently. Pure high soprano, could hit these incredibly rare notes, E, F, even this flicker of a high G that most singers couldn't touch. And she knew she was good, loved glamour, wanted to be a court, wear pink brocade dresses. There was this great little story about her betting Mozart she could sight read his new song on the spot.
And she won.
Instantly. Just nailed it. Pure confidence.
And you can really see the connection there, can't you, to the operas?
Oh, definitely. Think about it. Aloysia is almost the prototype for those big dramatic soprano roles in his operas, isn't she? Fiery, maybe a bit unreachable, career-focused, like Donna Anna in Don Giovanni, perhaps.
That's fascinating. So if Aloysius is the star, what about Josefa, the eldest?
Ah, Josefa. She was physically quite tall, apparently often seemed quite sullen. The sources describe her as the intellectual one. Loved reading, specifically Rousseau, which was seen as pretty dangerous stuff back then. She also had a voice described as larger and more passionate than Aloysia's. But you get the sense she really resented being in her sister's shadow. There's this undercurrent of deep dissatisfaction with her.
Okay. And then there's Constanze, the one he actually married.
Yeah, Constanze, the middle sister.
Yeah.
Apparently she struggled a bit with singing, wasn't the performer Aloysia was. Her focus seemed to be more on just holding the household together, duty. But she had secrets, too.
Oh.
A hidden box, apparently, filled with unsent letters, keepsakes, and her big goal, the thing she really wanted, stability. She's quoted as thinking, the only important thing is that all of us remain together forever.
Wow. Quite different from Aloysia's ambitions. And the last sister,
Sophie.
Sophie, the youngest. She just loved sleeping chocolates, apparently. And her big dream was to join a convent, just renounce the whole world. She comes across as a sort of clear-eyed observer, maybe a bit of an old soul, watching all the family chaos unfold. She's the one who tries to keep the peace between the sisters later on. What a household, just brimming with these complex personalities. And into this walks Mozart, who, let's be honest, wasn't exactly Mr. Rich and Famous himself in
Oh,
1777.
far from it. We've got letters from his own mother back to his father, Leopold,
Yeah.
basically saying, "We are poor." They were constantly eating at other people's houses because they couldn't afford their own food. And the ultimate slap in the face he plays at the Elector's Palace. And instead of getting paid in actual gold ducats, they give him a gold watch.
Ouch. A fancy watch doesn't pay the rent.
Exactly. His mother was furious. Like, has the world forgotten who this boy genius is?
So wait, if he's that broke, basically cadging meals, how does he manage to sweep Aloysia off her feet? How does he project this confidence to promise her this grand European tour?
Well, it must have been his sheer artistic energy, right? He was this force of nature. And Aloysia, the diva, she was captivated by the idea of him writing music just for her specific, amazing voice. He was completely drawn to her, even though his father, Leopold, had laid down the law, no marriage till 30.
Yeah.
And his own mother deeply distrusted the Webers, called them untrustworthy.
Right. But he still makes this huge promise to Aloysia, Vienna, Paris, Versailles. He's going to write these incredible pieces showcasing her high notes. That was the dream, their future together.
That was the dream. But then reality, and maybe Mozart's artistic temperament, got in the way. He was offered this really prestigious job in Versailles. Organist, stable income, security.
Which Aloysia must have loved the sound of.
You'd think. She saw it as their chance.
Yeah.
But Mozart, he found court life stifling. He turned it down flat, said something like, "I don't want to be a household organist."
Oh boy, I bet that went down well.
Apparently not. Aloysia was reportedly furious, saw him as throwing away their stable future for some artistic ideal. And then tragedy strikes. First, Fridolin Weber dies, a huge blow to the family. Then, shortly after, Mozart's own mother dies while she's with him in Paris. It's just awful timing. So Mozart eventually heads back towards home, heartbroken, grieving.
And Aloysia.
She'd moved on quickly, ran off and married a painter named Lange. And the really shocking part, she was apparently already 5 months pregnant when they got married.
Wow, so she chose security, stability over the brilliant but unpredictable Mozart.
Looks like it. She cut her losses. And Mozart was absolutely crushed. Professionally, personally, it was a massive rejection.
So what does he do? After all that, he does the one thing guaranteed to infuriate his father.
He goes back to Vienna
Yeah.
and moves in with the Webers, becomes their boarder.
Are you serious? Into the house of the family whose daughter just dumped him, pregnant by another man.
Yep. Despite Leopold absolutely hitting the roof, calling Maria Cecilia untrustworthy, again, calling Aloysia a loose woman, just furious letters flying back and forth, Mozart himself kind of admitted why he stayed. He said he still craved the sound of Aloysia's name. It was like he was chasing her ghost in that very house.
That is deeply weird and incredibly charged emotionally.
Yeah.
And it's in that atmosphere that he starts to notice Constanze, the quiet one.
Exactly. His attention shifts away from the dazzling, rejecting diva towards the sister who was, well, helpful, stable, quietly supportive. But as the sources reveal, Constanze wasn't quite the meek little mouse she might have seemed.
Okay, tell me more. What secrets did she have?
Well, beneath that dutiful exterior, there was this really passionate, maybe even reckless streak. We hear about this party at a piano maker's shop, Chance's place, and Constanze joins in this flirty game.
Huh.
She lets another composer, Henri, measure her calf.
Her calf.
Huh?
In the 18th century. That's scandalous.
Right. Extremely intimate. And there's another incident, a near seduction, with the piano maker himself, Johann Chance, who was married. It seems she kind of loved the thrill of it, the power. She apparently thought to herself, flirting's delicious.
Yeah.
You have so much power. She was juggling this expected dutiful role with this secret desire for, well, passion and attention.
Okay, this family's just layer upon layer of secrets. What else?
Oh, it gets deeper. After Fridolin died, Josefa, the intellectual one, starts digging. She wants to know the real story about the family finances. She confronts her mother, Maria Cecilia, who'd apparently been spinning tales for years about lost family wealth, missing silver, stuff like that.
And the truth comes out?
Not just about the money. Josefa pushes and pushes, and Maria Cecilia finally drops a bombshell. In the carriage, coming back from Fridolin's funeral, no less, she confesses that Fridolin was not Josefa's biological father.
What?
Yeah. Her real father was apparently a tall soldier who got shipped off with his regiment years ago. Maria Cecilia had kept it secret all that time. This whole family structure was built on these incredible lies.
My goodness, that poor girl. Finding that out then.
I know. And Josefa had her own massive secret, which only came out years later when Sophie talked to a biographer, Novello. was you see, the sort of sullen intellectual sister. She always wore this silver locket,
Yeah.
cherished it.
Okay.
Novello eventually got to see inside it. And there were two strands of hair. One was Josephus, and the other one, Sophie confirmed it. It was Mozart's.
No. Josefa was secretly in love with Mozart, too. The whole time.
All along. The sister who seemed to resent everything, who read her Rousseau, she was carrying this hidden torch for the genius living upstairs. You couldn't make it up.
So the whole house is just simmering with these hidden feelings for Mozart.
Creates unbelievable pressure, doesn't it? And Maria Sextilia, she starts to see Mozart differently now. Maybe not instantly rich, but potentially a future star. Especially when a family friend predicts Mozart's about to get some big imperial job, a sinecure. Suddenly he looks like a prize again.
So she starts pushing Constanze towards him.
Actively. Yeah. While also trying to manage poor Sophie, who still just wants to join a convent. Maria Cecilia even had plans to marry Sophie off to some count's cousin. It all got too much for Sophie.
What'd she do?
She staged this incredibly dramatic intervention, burst into Mozart's room late one night, apparently distraught, glasses off, tears streaming, and she basically begs him to call off any idea of marrying her. Says something like, "I want to renounce the world for God. I'm sure I'm not suitable for marriage."
Oh, poor Sophie. And Mozart's reaction.
You can almost picture him, can't you? He's already dealing with Aloysia's rejection, his money problems, his grief. And now this scene. The Thorses say he couldn't help but laugh. Not cruelly, maybe, but just at the sheer absurdity, the operatic farce of it all. It was like an opera, wasn't it? But it was their life. And the farce quickly turns serious. Maria Cecilia, maybe feeling things slipping away, decides to force the issue with Constanze. She orchestrates a scandal. After Constanze spends some time alone with Mozart in his rooms, probably innocently, the mother throws a massive fit, hysterics, accuses Mozart of seducing Constanze, demands they marry immediately to save the girl's honor.
Oh, playing the oldest card in the book. How did Constanze react?
She was devastated, especially when her mother apparently screamed something like, "You're just like the others," meaning Aloysia, presumably. Constanze couldn't take it. She fled the house, went to stay with a friend, this Baroness von Waldstetten, for refuge.
So that was the breaking point.
It seems so. For Mozart, too. He was just done. Done with the chaos, the games, the drama. He writes about needing something simpler. He decided he just needed to love simply, faithfully, to go home at night to someone who loves me alone.
And that someone was Constanze?
That someone was Constanze. They got married very quickly after that at Stephansdom Cathedral. But it wasn't some fairy tale wedding. Constanze had apparently cried through much of it, missing her father, Fridolin, and Mozart's own father, Leopold. He refused to come. Just sent a sort of cold blessing by mail.
Wow. So it's really quite ironic, isn't it? He marries Constanze and not out of that initial fiery passion he had for Aloysia?
Not at all. He married her, it seems, out of this desperate need for peace, for stability, for a refuge from all the madness, the Weber household madness, his own career struggles. He married this sister who promised him quiet.
That really changes how you think about their relationship. You go looking for the grand romance, and what you find is maybe a need for a quiet room to compose in.
Exactly. And to bring it right back to where we started, the thing that really shifts your perspective on Mozart's music is that final comment from Sophie Weber. Years later, she's talking to that biographer, Novello, and she apparently points right at the manuscripts. Mozart's great operas.
And what does she say? What was the inspiration?
She says them, her sisters. Their chaotic lives, their ambition, their poverty, their incredibly strong, flawed personalities. That, she said, was the real-life influence behind the unforgettable women in Mozart's operas.
That's incredible. To think that the grandeur of those characters, the Countess, Susanna, Fiordiligi, Donna Anna, might have their roots in this messy, desperate family drama unfolding on a rickety staircase in Mannheim and Vienna.
It makes you listen differently, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests that maybe behind all that transcendent genius, all that sublime music was this very real, very human, unforgettable family struggle.
A struggle for survival that somehow fueled some of the greatest art ever created. What a thought.
It really is. Maybe next time you listen to Figaro or Cozy, you'll hear those Weber sisters whispering or maybe shouting between the notes.